welcome to Slayerfest 98's 2025 Pop Culture Recap. I'm your host, Ian Carlos Crawford, as always, and joining us today...
Hey, it's me, Tom Lenk.
Hey y'all, it is Ashley.
Hello, it's Dominic Burgess.
Hello, Slayerfest. It's me, Michael Hamm.
Hi, friends. It's me, your podcast princess.
Well, hey there, everybody. This here is Lenore Zann, a.k.a. Rogue of the X-Men.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sabrina Ryan.
Howdy, my name is Zachary, Patton, Garcia.
I have a lot of favorites this year. This year was pretty big on pop culture. I watched a lot of TV. My favorite shows of the year, I did 15 instead of 10 because there were so many that I loved. Number 1, Heated Rivalry. I mean, if you've been following me, of course, I can't shut up about it. I'm mentally ill over this show. 2 gay love stories in this season. Everyone's hot. Everyone's in love. Nice. How nice. Number 2, Pluribus. I was a little underwhelmed by the finale, but overall I loved this show. Another show starring a lesbian. We need more queer shows, and we kind of got a lot this year. I did read on Glad's report that we got a lot, but a lot of them were in miniseries or canceled shows. So we're going back to where we were last year of not having as many. But this year, we did have an increase. Number 3, Task. A quieter show done by the same people who did Mayor of Easttown. The fake area that it takes place is like 30 minutes for me. I feel like I grew up with kids that had parents that all have that accent. It is just as cartoony as it sounds on the show in real life. Mark Ruffalo was great in it. Everyone was great in it. Number 4, White Lotus. I feel like people forgot about this season, but it wasn't so well loved. I loved it. I was rooting for those brothers. I don't know. Poor Lachlan, I felt bad for him. And then, the deaths. Number 5, Yellow Jackets. This was their best season. This season slapped. It was like nonstop bangers. Shauna rose to a villain so much that actress playing young Shauna, Sophie, when she was on Heated Rivalry, it made my back arch and I hissed like a cat. Until then, I loved her on that show. Number 6, Peacemaker. I would have never guessed John Cena would be an actor starring in a show that I love this much. But here we are. I love James Gunn. Usually does a hit for me, especially in superhero stuff. This really worked. This season I thought was even better than the first. Number 7, The Beast in Me. I feel like when I bring this show up to people, either they are like, oh my God, I loved it, or I've never heard of it. Claire Danes, Pluribus, and The Beast in Me both star grumpy lesbian authors. Give me more shitty gay characters. Love it. She lives in a very big mansion. Her next door neighbor, who just moved in, may or may not have killed his ex-wife. And she befriends him, and I actually really liked their dynamic, even though you're watching like, is he a murderer? Number 8, Adults, my favorite comedy of the year. By far, this show was so good. It was like Broad City meets Seinfeld meets Friends to make like the best baby. It reminded me, it's like very millennial Gen Z. I related to these characters. They're struggling with jobs. They're struggling with romance. Plus, Paul Baker, Crush of the Year. I tried to get that actor Jack to send in a little video accepting his Crush of the Year award from Slayerfest 98. He was unavailable. Just know, Jack, you are my Crush of the Year. Paul Baker, the character you played, like custom made for me. Number 9, Andor. I feel like people kind of forgot about season 2, but it slapped. It had like weird chunks of story, but I loved it. Number 10, Stranger Things. People online love to hate. People have been hating on this season. I still really liked it. Volume 2 was a little underwhelming overall, but Volume 1, great. The Karen Wheeler of it all, that was maybe my favorite sequence in the entire series, like Holly and the mom. I've rewatched that a bunch of times. Number 11, Wayward, another queer show. Mae Martin stars as a cop who kind of messed up in their previous town, so them and their current wife moved to their wife's hometown. Also, a friendship between a bisexual girl and a straight girl. They're the other main characters. Love it. Toni Collette is great in it. It feels horror, but it's not. Really recommend it. Number 12, Alien Earth. This was like very like highbrow sci-fi for me. Looked beautiful. The pacing was a little weird, but I still really loved it overall. Number 13, Overcompensating, a show I did not think I would like. Doesn't really normally appeal to me, like, ooh, straight bro who's like closeted. But I loved it. It took a little bit to like settle into its tone, but once it did, I loved it. Number 14, Daredevil Born Again, which I loved. People didn't like that much, but I loved it. I'm so excited for season 2. Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, as Trump, worked really well. Don't understand why people weren't rallying against this being too woke, because it started all white people. Anyway, number 15, Murderbot. I got into the series this year, the book series, went through all of them on audio. Loved the show as well. But also some of my favorite TV moments, some of the best needle drops. Yellow Jackets always has them. Heated Rivalry had a lot. The English Teacher had a lot too. Overcompensating had a My Chemical Romance needle drop made for me. Stranger Things ABBA. I wrote about that for Pop Heist. If you want to read, that article should be up. TV moments that made me cry or were just generally shocking. Kingpin smushing the police commissioner's head in the season finale of that show. Wild. In Pluribus, in the pilot, when she walks into the bar and everyone's frozen, that actually really creeped me out. Severance, the band, marching band coming in. The Beast in Me, when Claire Danes' Aggie is set up and finds a teen murdered in her bedroom. Wild. Adults, the Paul Baker Anton romance that came very much at the end. I thought the little hints they were doing were just jokes, but they were real, which I loved. They took it seriously. And Yellow Jackets, when they killed that scientist, I was like, ooh, they're home safe. Oh, nope. Favorite movies. Number 1, Superman. This might be my favorite superhero movie of all time. It is the movie I rewatched the most this year. Loved it. Number 2, Thunderbolts. Yelena is my girl through and through. I don't know why more Marvel heads aren't rallying to love her. And she is a movie star. And she is so charming as Yelena. This is like the character she was born to play. The movie's about depression. It's about misfits. It's about like fuck-ups. Hello, that's exactly what I love. Number 3, Sinners. Who didn't love this movie? I don't really need to say much. Michael B. Jordan, so hot. Number 4, Presents. Spooky ghosts that make Ian cry. All right. Number 5, Predator Badlands. A weird chosen family made up of alien creatures and a robot. I did not ever think I would love a Predator movie centered around a predator because I never care about the monsters or the villains in a horror movie. But I loved it. One battle after another. Number 6. I also did not think I would love this movie, but Leonardo DiCaprio is very good as this like fuck up, depressed dad who smokes too much weed. The long shots in this movie were fantastic. I was really impressed by it. They kill a bunch of racists. Always into that. Number 7, Frankenstein. Another movie that I didn't think I would like. I started it, got like 35 minutes into it, paused it, and then never went back to it. But a student of mine this semester kept telling me, you have to go back to it. You'll like it. You know, me and my girlfriend loved it. And I think it's like up your alley because I talk about movies and shows a lot. Promised him I would by the end of the semester. So I literally did the last weekend of the semester and I did love it. Once we switched to Frankenstein's POV, I wanted that poor monster to get everything he wanted. I was so sad when that old man that took him in died. Number 8, I have not heard this movie talked about a lot, but Caught Stealing, I really loved. Austin Butler looks fantastic in it, and he's so Ian's type. Heated Rivalry has some great hockey butts, but also I bought a kettlebell because I read an article with Austin Butler where he talked about he did workouts for his butt, so he had a baseball butt because he's supposed to be an ex-baseball player in it. That and Heated Rivalry, I bought a kettlebell for my home workouts because we're going to work on that. Number 9, Good Boy, a dog as the final boy in a horror movie. I feel insane even saying this, but this dog was a great actor. Touching, I cried. I watched this movie like my Latin mother watched movies, where like if the dog was even touched, I would be yelling at the screen as if they were attacking my child. Number 10, 28 years later, a movie about grief, with like a long sequence of a mom dying and accepting the death, and I wept for about 20 minutes of this movie. Favorite books. So I mentioned Murderbot. I watched the show because after a long time of my best friend Kim recommending me the book series, I finally decided I was going to listen to it. Had a long drive to and from work this semester. I zoomed through all of the books in that series and loved them. The next one, I'm a little biased. She's my best friend. Her and my other best friend Zach are my favorite people to talk pop culture with. Kirsten White's Mr. Magic, I listened to it and it is fantastic. I've even talked to people who don't know Kirsten who loved it, which made me feel a little better because, you can be a little biased, but still loved it. Some other books that I listened to and read this year that I loved, Breathe In, Bleed Out by Brian McCauley. It's about a group of friends that goes to like a retreat out in the desert and horror shit starts happening. Your Favorite Scary Movie by Ashley Cullens, which interviewed like everyone who ever participated in the Scream franchise and made me cry like 3 times. Showstopper by Lily Anderson, a very sweet slasher about a theater camp where a slasher movie ends up happening. And You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron. It was surprisingly fantastic. The setup is so weird. Loved it.
Hey, it's me, Tom Lenk, reporting live from a Korean barbecue restaurant in K-Town, Los Angeles. Here are my favorite things for the year. My favorite prestige film has to be No Other Choice. It's a Korean film from director Park Chan-wook, and it's a drama, but it's also a dark comedy, and the acting is incredible. It's in theaters now, limited release, so go watch it. My favorite comedy film has to be Time Travel is Dangerous, a film that I star in. And I'm not just saying it's funny because I'm in it. The 2 leads of the film are hysterical. The movie's about 2 women who own a vintage store, and they find a time machine, and they go back in time to steal things to sell at their vintage store. The 2 women in the film are playing themselves, and they actually own a vintage shop in London, and it's so funny. They're not actors, but they are. They're hilarious. They didn't actually find a time machine because that's not real yet. So check that out. You can rent it and purchase it in the UK, Ireland, Canada, and the US. Favorite K-drama this year, Tempest. I have a teeny tiny part in it. I did get to go to Korea to film it. But it is, again, the acting, incredible. The 2 leads, it's sort of a spy thriller, romantic drama. Check it out. It's on Disney Plus here in the States. Favorite J-drama? Season 3 of Alice in Borderland. It's kind of like a guy falls into a dreamland, Alice in Wonderland, but it's sort of Squid Game-like. But the games aren't physical, they're more mental, if that makes sense. Favorite reality show? Physical Asia. And if you're obsessed with Physical Asia, go back and watch Physical 100. My favorite book I read was my friend Tracy Whitwell's book, The Hidden Dead, part of the Accidental Medium series. And it's kind of ooky spooky comedy murder mystery. And I'm obsessed. I've read the whole series. I think there's one more book coming out. So check that out. Hidden Dead, part of the Accidental Medium series by Tracy Whitwell. Stay safe out there, kids. That's all I got. Bye.
Hi, friends. It's me, your podcast princess, and I am coming to you with my top. Let's do my top 8 of 2025, and I'll also give you my bottom 2 of 2025. So these are all horror movies that I saw this year that came out this year as well. So my number 8 is Shelby Oaks, which I know a lot of people have not been liking. It really worked for me, other than the CGI animals, which were apparently CGI'd over actual dogs. I don't know what's going on in the world of film. Find some real animal actors. They're out there and they're great. Number 7 is Keeper, the second movie from Oz Perkins this year. And I'm an unabashed Perkins girly. I love all of his movies. The Blackcoat's Daughter will always be my favorite, but I thought Keeper was pretty fucking good. Again, I'm not really sure why this didn't work for people, and I thought it was wonderful. Number 6 is Robbie Banfich's sophomore feature, Tinsman Road. I love The Outwaters, but this blows it, no pun intended, out of the water. And Robbie's mom basically plays the main character, and she is absolutely incredible. Plus, I got to meet Robbie at a screening of this at the Music Box in Chicago, and he is a total sweetheart. If you like found footage that deals with grief, but not in the way that a lot of other movies have been doing it, highly recommend checking it out. Number 5 is The Ugly Stepsister. This movie is phenomenal. Body horror, a lot of other things. Toxic masculinity, toxic femininity, and really wonderful sister relationship. It just really spoke to me. I was on an episode of Tender Subject where we talked about it, so check that out. Number 4 is Frewaka, which is an Irish horror film that is partially in the Irish language, which is really cool. And it does a few really different things. It's got some solid characters and really solid performances, an incredible score. This is a 5-star movie for me. I believe it's still streaming on Shudder, so if you have not seen it, check that out. Once again, has some stuff about grief, but deals with it in a different way than a lot of movies. Number 3 is Companion. I talked about this at length on a Pleasers and Punishers episode with my co-host Caitlin. If you've ever been in an abusive relationship, this movie is going to be a little bit activating, but the humor offsets that, and it's also extremely cathartic. I think there's also a big trans reading to be done here, and I always love it when I can do that. Plus, Sophie Thatcher is perfection. Number 2 is Bring Her Back, and I think this movie is incredible. I never want to watch it again. I went nonverbal partway through the movie, and still couldn't speak for another hour after it ended, I believe. And part of that is that Sally Hawkins looks exactly like my mother and says and does some things just like my mother in this movie. Hashtag mommy trauma. Number 1, Sinners. I don't know what else to say about this movie. Once again, we have an episode on it on Pleasers and Punishers if you want to hear more of my thoughts. It's just... yeah, I saw this 5 times in the theater this year, all at different theaters. So if that tells you how much I liked it. And then my bottom 2 are Death of a Unicorn. What a fucking disappointment. Terrible CGI, almost no practical effects, completely wasted, and filled with good actors who should have been able to do a great job, but they just don't. Especially Paul Rudd. He's not good in that movie. And it's fucking Paul Rudd. And my least favorite of the year was Fear Street Prom Queen. What a fucking letdown. I love the Fear Street trilogy. I have a tattoo of Ruby Lane on my leg. Those movies mean a lot to me. And Prom Queen was terrible. It was just terrible. Don't waste your time on it. So that's my top 8 and my bottom 2 for the year. Thanks for tuning into Slayerfest 98, and we'll see you in the new year. Bye.
Hello, Slayerfest. It's me, Michael Hamm. You might recognize me from doing, I think, 3 episodes in an entire year. Yeah, okay. It's 2025. It's been a bad year. We're all having a bad time, okay? No, sorry. We're here to talk about the good things of 2025. Actually, I feel like we're not here to... Nothing good happened in 2025. I think we're here to talk about the distractions that got us through 2025. I don't know about you guys, but my distractions were movies, TV shows, and music. In 2025, Marvel stepped their pussy up with Thunderbolts. They got rid of a bunch of stuff that was unnecessary. They slowed down their schedule. We got Fantastic Four, which was a good movie. Not as good as Thunderbolts, though. I think that might be a hot take. And actually, you know what? While we're on hot takes, I think we also got the best version of Superman this year. I'm kind of over Henry Cavill. I feel like he's a nightmare. Hot take number 2. But my 2 favorite movies of the year, and this is for the spooky girls out there, Frankenstein and Sinners. Undeniably the 2 best movies of the year for me. I really hope that they win every award that they are up for because, my God, cinema and art. I think more movies need to start treating themselves as art in a similar way to how television is doing it now. One of my favorite shows of the year was Adolescence, which was all one solid camera shot. I mean, the acting, you've never seen acting like this. If there was one thing I could probably recommend for everyone to see, like, Adolescence was incredible. I was also going crazy over Hacks season 4 and The Studio and The Mighty Nine, and of course Heated Rivalry, but I'm sure Ian can cut to everyone else saying Heated Rivalry at this point, so just do that. And while we're on the topic of queer love, I feel like Overcompensating was also a really good show that I watched this year. And Pluribus? The Apple Plus Hive Mind show. I think that was also a phenomenal TV show. I've also been tucking away in live music, and this was an incredible time for all of the artists I love to be going on tour. Beyonce was on tour, Lady Gaga was on tour, My Chemical Romance was on tour, Nine Inch Nails was on tour, System of a Down was on tour, Kesha was on tour, Tate McRae was on tour. That one, maybe that's also a hot take. Hot take number 3. But yeah, it's been great to escape to things like that and get lost in TV shows and movies. And I feel like this year really needed stuff like that. So hopefully you all got to escape a little bit too. And I hope that you all have a wonderful 2026. Knock on wood, can it get worse? Maybe, but hopefully fucking not. If you want to see more of me, my name is Michael Hamm. I have a Patreon account, patreon.com/Michael Hamm. If you like cosplay and sexy stuff, my Instagram is Hammy73, where I'm just being kind of stupid. Michael.ham.cosplay if you only want my cosplay stuff. And maybe you'll see me once next year for Slayerfest. All right. Bye, guys. Mwah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sabrina Ryan, and here are some things I enjoyed in 2025. The first is a book called Alchemized by Sen-Lin Yu. I think it was really, really interesting, very original. It is a gritty, dark roller coaster fantasy ride, weirdly intimate in its darkness. If you enjoyed Frankenstein, you'll really enjoy it. I can't recommend it enough. I enjoyed Best Woman by Rose Domu, who is a genius, icon, model, intellectual star. But this book was exactly what the world needs right now. It is a whipped cream flavored take on 90s rom-coms, and we haven't had a good one in a really long time, and this is a really good one. And it uses queerness to put a fresh spin on things, but it's not inaccessible to mainstream audiences. I think, in fact, it feels in a way like a love letter to queerness that mainstream audiences can ride along with. And I don't know that that's always true about queer romance in 2025. I also really enjoyed If You're Seeing This, It's Meant for You by Lee Stein. I thought it was a very gripping and honestly a very kind of sideways look at algorithms and marketing and branding and the internet and youth culture. And I did not see where it was going. And I have to recommend that you jump in without any spoilers. I also really enjoyed the movie Superman by James Gunn. I thought, I'm really sick of IP products. I'm really sick of IP franchise stuff. If I have to see another Marvel movie, I'm going to scream. I used to be a big fan of this stuff, and it just seems to be circling the drain. Except for this, I loved Superman. Superman is one of the most overdone characters in all of fiction, and yet this was completely original. This was so fun and exciting from the first moment it came on screen. It is action-packed. It is filled with jokes. It is filled with heart. It has stuff to say about relationships and about politics. And yeah, it's great. It's really great. And I can't wait for Supergirl because I loved Superman. Next was Eternity. I had a lot of fun with Eternity. I think Eternity was a tiny slice of a world that I wish I had the chance to spend more time in. I really enjoyed John Early. Elizabeth Olsen as a genius. It was heartwarming. It ended the way that I hoped that it ended. And yeah, I think it's worth checking out. It's not a perfect movie, but what rom-com other than Best Woman is perfect? And then Sinners, Ryan Coogler. Can't say enough about Ryan Coogler. Can't say enough about Sinners. It was vampires like we hadn't seen them in a long time. It played with some really big themes. Every set piece of the movie was just so rich. The world was so deep. The characters were so complex. It sat with me for so long after I saw it. So definitely check out Sinners. In TV, I really enjoyed Overcompensating with Benito Skinner. I thought it was really funny. As a millennial who went to college in that era, as a queer millennial who went to college in that era, it was very honest to the reality. Charlie XCX shows up. I mean, need I say more? I will. It was funny. It was smart. It was fast. The supporting cast is stacked, and I can't wait to see where they go with it in future seasons. I also really enjoyed season 3 of The Rehearsal, which is not a new show for 2025, but everything Nathan Fielder does is so fresh and so interesting. And this one in particular was so emotionally complex, and it spoke to something that our nation is in crisis about that nobody has ever brought up before. And I thought that was really great. And I think his ability to go way beyond the mark that he needs to in order to make his point is always appreciated and gets my attention. I also enjoyed The Studio with Seth Rogen. I felt like in some ways it was like having 30 Rock back, but also not 30 Rock. It was more realistic and also more absurd, and another show with an amazing supporting cast and a lot of jokes. And I need jokes lately. And for it to come out of a streaming service like that was owned by Apple is shocking because it is so vicious about those things. But I guess NBC did make 30 Rock, so I don't know. I loved it. Check it out. Anyway, that was my 2025. Hopefully next year has even better stuff. Happy New Year.
Hello, it's Dominic Burgess. We're in the nether space between Christmas and New Year's, and time has no meaning anymore. Happy New Year to you. Ian asked me to give you some of my favorite things from the year. So I'm going to start off with the betrayal of Thomas True. Is this backwards? Is my camera backwards? Anyway, I really like this book. It came out in 2024 in England, but it came out in January in the US this year, so it still counts. It's set in 1715, and it's a fun LGBTQ plus story with some murder and some intrigue and some molly houses, and it's a really fun read, and I would recommend this. It's by A.J. West, and it's a betrayal of Thomas True. Next up, what are some of my favorite films that I've seen this year? I just saw Hamnet, and that really just washed over me. I was going to say in a soothing balm, but it's not. It's really engaging and really emotional. And again, it's another period piece. Not all of my stuff is going to be a period piece. It's beautiful to look at. The acting is really incredible. I really enjoyed it. What else did I really enjoy? Train Dreams did wash over me in a warm, soothing blanket. I don't know how I would describe it. It's another period piece. I'm so sorry. That follows a logger in California in the 1920s. Gosh, look at me. I'm doing a terrible job of this. But it's sort of snippets of his life. And it's sort of, it's almost dreamlike in its quality, and I really enjoyed it. I go into it not knowing much about it. Not knowing much about it. I'd recommend going into a lot of films not knowing much about it. But I really did enjoy that. Eddington was another film that I enjoyed. I know that's really divisive. Not a lot of people enjoyed Eddington, but I liked it. And this is my favorite things from the year. So that's what it is. Twinless and Lurker were two of my favorite films. I was gonna separate them into is a Blu-ray section, but they haven't come out on disc. I think Lurker is coming out on disc next year. Twinless and Lurker, two of my favorite films. They're both kind of unhinged in an Ingrid Goes West obsession kind of way, and I would highly recommend them. Music. What was my favorite music of the year? I'm not very good with current music stuff. If I hear a score from a soundtrack that I like, I guess the Tron Ares soundtrack was kind of fun. Nothing else is springing to mind off the top of my head before I go. I got to leave you on one thing. I'm going off the reservation here. Ian told me to do books and films, but look at this. What I built. I say what I built as if I did it without instructions. I followed the Lego instructions. This is the most perfect Lego build that I have ever done. And he's cute and he's adorable. And I highly recommend throwing Gremlins on while you build this. Might take you a little bit longer than just Gremlins, so you can roll straight into Gremlins 2 and do this. Look, there's another one over here. You can. Gremlins is a thing. It's so perfect. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Thanks so much. Happy New Year. Bye. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to tell you places you can find. I'm at Dominic Burgess 1 on Instagram. And there's a lot of cat content on there and probably stuff like this, nerdy stuff. Now, okay, bye.
Hey y'all, it is Ashley here with my favorite movies and shows of 2025. Obviously, my favorite show of the year so far has been Heated Rivalry. I did not have being totally and completely all consumed by two queer hockey players on my bingo card, but here we are. We are adding another beautiful bisexual character to the list with Ilya Rozanov, my consent king, and we also get my new son. All the paperwork has been approved, Shane Hollander. I have in fact watched this show multiple times, and it has yet to fail to make me cry, to make me cackle, to give me chills. I cannot wait for season 2. The second show that's on my list is Adolescence. That show is a masterpiece. The one-shot, the acting, the writing, the directing, all of it is just a masterpiece. And I think they won like 8 Emmys, all well-deserved. Owen Cooper, I cannot wait to see what else that kid does. The third show on my list is Adults. I loved this show. I thought the characters were so funny and messy and relatable and perfect. And also it put Jack Innan on my radar. Hello. Then we also had returning seasons of some of my favorites. So we had The White Lotus giving us some of the best memes of the year. The Last of Us coming in to destroy us completely yet again. And then Yellow Jackets also back to keep us on our toes. I want to give an honorable mention to The Righteous Gemstones, which rounded out their series this year. And the final season wasn't my favorite season, but I do love the show so much, and I was happy that they got to give it a send-off. Also, RIP to Olimpo, which was canceled, even though it was super intriguing, and I'm very sad that we will not get to see more of that. I am much more of a TV show girly, so I have less movies, but I am but a simple girl, and so Wicked for Good is at the top of my list. I went to see it for a double feature where I watched Wicked and then Wicked for Good. I was in the theater for like almost 6 hours. It was a time. 2, Sinners. I don't rewatch a lot of films. I'm not really a rewatcher when it comes to movies. And I have watched Sinners thrice. We went to see it in theaters, and then I watched it again sometime, and then I watched it on the plane recently as well. I don't know if I have like enough words to describe how much I love that film. It's so well done. You truly get like lost in it. Not a lot of films with my ADHD like suck me in and don't let me go, you know? And so Sinners just, it's one of the best. It's one of the best. And the music, I could go on. Number 3, Twinless. I am nothing if not a Dylan O'Brien stan. I waited so impatiently for this film, and when it finally went to theaters, I was there immediately to see it, and it was so good. And I love dark humor, and I feel like it has a lot of dark humor in it. And the twist got me, which I feel like I'm pretty good at sussing out twists, but I was not expecting that one at all. So it was really good, and I will be rewatching it the first opportunity I get. Other films that I really enjoyed this year were 28 Years Later. I really liked stepping back into that world. I had low expectations, and I did not take it very seriously, so I had a great time. I thought Edvin Ryden killed his part. It was fun to see him in something so different than what I've seen him in. Companion, the cast alone was enough to reel me in, and then the story was so good that it became one of my favorites for sure. Also, I really enjoyed Weapons and Bring Her Back, but I will say Bring Her Back has some of the most unwatchable moments. that I have experienced in a long time. I actually had to look away multiple times. And I probably won't rewatch that one, but it's good. Last but not least, I want to shout out Clarkston, which I saw on the West End with Joe Locke and Rory Malika, and it was just a really weird little production, and I enjoyed it a lot. Happy New Year, and here's to all of the great entertainment we have coming our way in 2026.
Howdy, my name is Zachary Patton Garcia. 2025. Oh, lots of great things in 2025, but Yellow Jackets is up there, you know? It had some great moments and some not so great moments, but overall Yellow Jackets is just such a rewatchable show, and we are actively creating one of the best villains in TV history. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a good bad movie, and who doesn't love a good bad movie? One of my favorite movies of 2025 was Eternity. Oh my gosh, everybody needs to see this movie with Elizabeth Olsen and Miles Teller. It's so beautiful, it's so moving, and it will really grab at your heart and squeeze. I read The September House this year. It is from 2023, but I read it in 2025, and it is by Carissa Orlando. Such a fun movie, and it just makes you feel like you're going completely bonkers.
Well, hey there, everybody. This here is Lenore Zann, a.k.a. Rogue of the X-Men, coming to you today from a beautiful little Mexican restaurant, El Coyote in Hollywood. I am reading The Invisible Life of Maddie LaRue. I love this book. Get it if you get a chance. I'm also watching right now The Last of Us for the first time. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. And if you're interested, I have a book that's available. It just came out on Audible. It's called A Rogue's Tale. It is my own origin story. And you can get the paperback on Amazon. So A Rogue's Tale on Audible and Amazon. So I wish you all well. And much love, sugars, from me, Rogue. Mwah. Bye for now.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for listening all year. I appreciate any support you've all given me. This coming year in 2026, we will be getting back to our Angel Season 4 coverage, starting with the Faith arc, because that is a banger of an arc, and it still holds up. And also, Joe Organa and I will be hosting together episode-by-episode coverage of Heated Rivalry in the main feed, because I love doing more than one thing at a time. Also be getting back to Buffy Season 5 25th anniversary coverage over at the Patreon, where we're also covering that are released whenever X-Men the Animated Series and Batman the Animated Series and any other like random movie I decide I want to talk about. Any and all support over there is much appreciated. We also do Zoom hangouts, Zoom watch-alongs, a lot of stuff. My Nudie Judy I do with Zach, sex and relationship talk show. And if you want to follow me, I'm at Ian X Carlos on all social media platforms. And let's hope 2026 is better than we can imagine. I wish everybody well. I'm going to get my goal is to get a nicer chest and finish writing the script I've been working on and the book I've been working on. Who knows which one will happen? Tune in a year to find out. See y'all next year. Bye.